got to fight back. You've got to take a stand for your own mind. You see, your mind is like the control tower of your life. Every decision you make, every action you take, starts up here. If your thoughts are filled with fear, doubt, and negativity, that's what your life will reflect. But if your thoughts are clear, strong, and full of purpose, then your life will follow suit. That's how powerful your mind is. And that's why it's so important to win this battle. The first step in this fight is awareness. You've got to realize that this battle is happening every single day. It's not a one-time thing. Every morning when you wake up, you've got a choice to make. Will you let the world, your fears, or your doubts control your mind, or will you take control? The truth is, if you don't take control of your thoughts, someone or something else will. Maybe it's the negative voices around you. Maybe it's the fear of failure. Maybe it's just the habit of thinking small. But if you're not intentional about it, those thoughts will win. Think about it. How often do we let a single negative thought ruin our entire day? One bad comment, one mistake, and suddenly we're spiraling. It doesn't have to be that way. But to stop it, you've got to start by recognizing when it's happening. Pay attention to your thoughts. What are you telling yourself? Are those thoughts building you up, or are they tearing you down? And let me tell you this, just because you think something doesn't mean it's true. Your mind will lie to you. It will tell you you're not capable, that you're stuck, that things will never get better. But those are just thoughts. They're not facts. And the great news is, you can change them. You can challenge them. You can replace them with something better. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to think of your mind like a garden. Whatever you plant there is what will grow. If you plant seeds of doubt, fear, and negativity, that's what you'll harvest. But if you plant seeds of confidence, hope, and belief, you'll get a different result. Now, a garden doesn't take care of itself. You've got to pull the weeds, water the good plants, and keep at it every day. Your mind works the same way. You've got to be intentional about what you let grow there. One of the most powerful tools you have in this battle is choice. You get to choose what you focus on. You get to choose what you believe. You get to choose how you respond to challenges. That's your power. Nobody can take that away from you. But you've got to use it. You've got to practice it, like a muscle. And let me tell you something about winning this battle. It's not about perfection. It's not about never having a negative thought again. That's not realistic. What it's about is progress. It's about catching those negative thoughts faster and turning them around. It's about building the habit of choosing better thoughts, even when it's hard, especially when it's hard. You might be thinking, Jim, this all sounds great, but it's not easy. And you're right, it's not. But what in life that's truly worth it ever is. Winning this war in your mind is hard work, but it's the most important work you'll ever do. And the rewards, they're incredible. Imagine waking up every day with a clear mind, with confidence in your abilities, and with a sense of purpose that drives you forward. That's what's waiting for you on the other side of this battle. So here's my challenge to you. Starting today, pay attention to your thoughts. Notice when they're steering you in the wrong direction. And when they do, stop. Take a deep breath and choose a better thought. Replace I can't with I can. Replace I'm not enough with I am more than enough. It might feel strange at first, but keep at it. Over time, those new thoughts will become your new reality. This is your life we're talking about. Your potential, your dreams, your future. They all start in your mind. Don't let negative thoughts steal that from you. Fight for it. Fight for it. Fight for yourself. Because you are worth it. You have everything you need to win this battle. All you have to do is decide that today is the day you take control. Now go out there and start winning the war in your mind. Your future self will thank you. Number 2, recognizing the power of thoughts. Your thoughts are the architects of your life. Everything you achieve, everything you become, starts with the way you think. If you want to change your life, you have to start by recognizing the incredible power of your thoughts. They're not just fleeting ideas or random musings. They're the foundation of your actions, your habits, and ultimately your destiny. That's the power you hold every single day. The question is, are you using it wisely? Most people don't realize how much their thoughts shape their reality. It's easy to think that life happens to us, that circumstances dictate where we end up. But let me tell you, that's not the whole story. Life doesn't just happen to you. It responds to you. It responds to your mindset, your attitude, and the way you choose to think. And when you start to recognize that, when you start to understand that your thoughts have the power to either build you up or tear you down, you unlock a whole new level of control over your life. Think about this. Everything you've ever done, everything you've ever accomplished, started with a thought. Before you took your first step, you thought about walking. Before you started that business, got that job, or built that relationship, there was a moment where you believed it was possible. That belief, that thought was the spark that set everything in motion. And if your thoughts can create those kinds of outcomes, imagine what else they can do if you focus them in the right direction. But here's the thing, not all thoughts are helpful. Some thoughts are like anchors, pulling you down and keeping you stuck. They tell you you're not good enough, that you'll never succeed, that it's too late to change. And if you listen to those thoughts, they become your reality. That's why it's so important to pay attention to what's going on in your mind. What are you telling yourself every day? Are your thoughts empowering you, or are they holding you back? This is where the power of awareness comes in. You have to start noticing your thoughts. Not just the loud ones, but the quiet ones. The ones that whisper in the background, shaping the way you see yourself and the world. Maybe you've been carrying around a belief that you're not smart enough or talented enough. Maybe you've been telling yourself that success is for other people, not for you. Those thoughts might feel real, but they're not the truth. They're just patterns you've picked up along the way. And the good news is, you can change them. Changing your thoughts starts with a decision. Starts with deciding that you're not going to let negative thinking run your life anymore. You've got to take control. And that means challenging those thoughts when they show up. When you hear that voice telling you you're not capable, you need to stop and ask, is that really true? Or is it just fear talking? Most of the time, you'll find it's not the truth at all. It's just a habit, a story you've been telling yourself. And once you recognize that, you can choose to tell a different story. Let me give you an example. Imagine you're standing at the edge of a new opportunity. Maybe it's a job, a project, or a chance to improve your health. What's the first thought that comes to mind? Is it excitement, confidence, or possibility? Or is it fear, doubt, and hesitation? That first thought matters because it sets the tone for everything that comes next. If you let fear take over, you might hold back or convince yourself it's not worth trying. But if you choose confidence, if you choose to believe in your ability to figure it out, you open the door to growth and success. Now, this isn't about pretending everything is perfect or ignoring challenges. Life will test you. That's a given. But the way you think about those challenges makes all the difference. Do you see obstacles as roadblocks or as opportunities to learn and grow? Do you let failures define you, or do you use them as stepping stones to something greater? Your perspective shapes your reality, and it all starts with your thoughts. Here's what I want you to remember. You are not your thoughts. You have thoughts, but you're not defined by them. That means you have the power to change them. You don't have to believe everything you think. You can choose to let go of the thoughts that don't serve you and replace them with ones that do. And when you do that, when you start filling your mind with thoughts of possibility, strength, and determination, your life will begin to reflect those things. This is why it's so important to be intentional about what you feed your mind. Just like your body needs good food to stay healthy, your mind needs good input to stay strong. What are you reading? What are you listening to? Who are you spending time with? These things shape your thoughts, whether you realize it or not. If you're constantly surrounded by negativity, it's going to be hard to stay positive. But if you fill your mind with inspiration, encouragement, and wisdom, you'll find it easier to think in ways that empower you. Every day is an opportunity to strengthen your mind. It's not about being perfect. It's about being consistent. Start small. When you catch yourself thinking something negative, pause and choose a better thought. When you feel doubt creeping in, remind yourself of a time when you succeeded. Celebrate those small wins because they build momentum. And over time, those small shifts in thinking will lead to big changes in your life. The power of your thoughts is one of the greatest gifts you've been given. Don't take it for granted. Use it to create a life that reflects your highest potential. And remember, it's never too late to start. Whether you're 18 or 80, you can choose today to think differently, to believe in yourself, and to take steps toward the life you want. It all begins in your mind. That's where the power is. That's where the change starts. So take hold of it and don't let go. You've got this. Number 3, identifying negative patterns. Every lasting change in your life begins with identifying the patterns that no longer serve you. You can't fix what you don't see, and you can't move forward if you're being held back by the same unhelpful cycles day after day. Recognizing negative patterns in your thinking and behavior is one of the most powerful things you can do because it gives you the clarity to break free and move toward the life you truly want. The key to unlocking your potential often lies in identifying what's been holding you back. Let me ask you this. How often do you stop and pay attention to the way you think? Most people don't even realize they're stuck in a loop of negative thoughts. These patterns can be so subtle, so ingrained in your daily life, that they feel normal. You wake up in the morning and before your feet even hit the floor, you're already thinking, I'm so tired, or I've got too much to do. That negativity becomes the lens through which you see the entire day. And if you're not careful, it can turn into weeks, months, even years of living on autopilot, controlled by thoughts that don't serve you. But here's the good news. You don't have to stay stuck. The moment you begin to notice those patterns, you take the first step toward change. It starts with awareness. You have to become an observer of your own mind, paying attention to the thoughts that pop up when things get tough, or when you're faced with a challenge. Do you immediately think, I can't do this? Or do you think I'll figure it out? That difference in response is everything, because your thoughts influence your actions, and your actions shape your results. Now, identifying negative patterns isn't always easy. It takes courage to look in the mirror and face the truth about the way you think. But let me tell you, it's one of the most freeing things you can do. Think of it as shining a light into a dark room. The room hasn't changed, it's been there all along. But now you can see what's inside. You can see the clutter, the mess, and the things you no longer need. And once you see them, you can start to clear them out. One of the most common negative patterns people fall into is self-doubt. It's that voice in your head that says, you're not good enough, or you'll never make it. That voice might have come from a past experience, a failure, or even something someone said to you years ago. But here's the thing, just because you've heard doesn't mean it's true. Self-doubt is like a weed in your mind. If you don't pull it out, it will grow and take over, choking out the positive, empowering thoughts that lead to growth. Another pattern that holds people back is blaming circumstances. I can't succeed because of my past. I can't get ahead because the system is unfair. While it's true that life isn't always easy, and some obstacles are bigger than others, staying in a mindset of blame only keeps you stuck. It shifts the power away from you and gives it to something outside of your control. If you want to break free, you have to take responsibility for your thoughts and your actions. You have to decide that no matter what's happened to you, you have the power to create a better future. Then there's the pattern of perfectionism. It's the belief that if you can't do something perfectly, it's not worth doing at all. Perfectionism is paralyzing. It keeps you from starting, keeps you from trying, and keeps you from growing. The truth is, progress matters far more than perfection. If you're waiting for the perfect moment or the perfect plan, you'll be waiting forever. The time to act is now, even if it's messy, even if it's imperfect, because every small step you take adds up to big change over time. So how do you start to identify these patterns in your life? It begins with listening to yourself. Pay attention to the thoughts that run through your mind throughout the day. Write them down if you need to. Look for recurring themes. Are you often criticizing yourself? Are you quick to assume the worst? Do you focus more on problems than solutions? These patterns didn't appear overnight, and they won't disappear overnight either. But awareness is the first step, and it's a step you can take today. Another way to uncover negative patterns is to look at your actions and results. Are there areas in your life where you feel stuck or frustrated? Maybe it's your career, your relationships, or your health. Ask yourself, what thoughts are driving my behavior in this area? For example, if you've been avoiding a goal, it might be because you believe it's too hard, or that you're not capable. Once you identify those underlying thoughts, you can start to challenge them. Challenging negative patterns takes effort, but it's worth it. Every time you catch yourself thinking, I can't, replace it with, what if I can? Every time you hear that voice of doubt, remind yourself of a time when you succeeded despite the odds. Surround yourself with people who lift you up, who believe in you, and who remind you of your potential when you forget it. The more you do this, the weaker those negative patterns will become. And over time, you'll replace them with new patterns, ones that empower you, inspire you, and push you to grow. Remember, identifying negative patterns isn't about beating yourself up or feeling ashamed. It's about growth. It's about recognizing the thoughts and behaviors that no longer serve you and deciding to let them go. It's about choosing a better way, one step at a time. And the beautiful thing is, every time you do this, you're not just changing your thoughts, you're changing your life. Number 4, taking control of your thinking. You are stronger than you think. And the moment you take control of your thinking, you take control of your life. That's the truth, plain and simple. You see, life isn't just about the circumstances you face. It's about how you respond to them, and the way you respond is determined by the way you think. Every achievement, every failure, every decision, it all starts in the mind. If you don't take control of your thinking will control you. It's as simple as that. The question is, how do you take control? It's not always easy, is it? Sometimes your mind feels like it's running on autopilot, cycling through doubts, fears, and distractions. But let me tell you something important. You are not your thoughts. You are the thinker. You are the one who decides which thoughts to entertain and which ones to let go. That power is yours, and it's a power that can transform your life. The first step to taking control of your thinking is realizing that you have a choice. Many people don't even realize this. They go through life reacting to everything, letting their thoughts run wild like an untamed horse. But the truth is, you can choose your thoughts just like you choose your clothes in the morning. You can decide, today, I'm going to focus on what's good. Today, I'm going to believe in myself. Today, I'm going to look for solutions.